Welcome to your unfolding into embodiment. This is the threshold activation, embodied remembrance, and I am Marjorie Bostwick Phoenix, the founder of the Emergent Women Collective. This is a space for women leaders that find themselves in that in-between space where they know they can't return to what once was, yet they're not entirely sure about what comes next. That's your threshold moment. This activation is your passageway. It's a space for you to be able to move through your awakening from awareness to knowing to being. And in this experience, I'm going to take you through a process that I call the mirror and the map. It's a pathway for navigating that inner collapse so many of us have felt this year and are still feeling. So through it, what will happen is you will begin to remember a hidden part of yourself, a part that has either been suppressed or buried or just simply forgotten. And once you start to remember, then you tap into this inner knowing. That's the map within. And you see that there is no need for you to continue to over effort, to overperform, to prove anything to anyone. All that is required is to release everything that you thought you knew and just be. Because there comes a moment when remembering is no longer enough. It must be embodied. This is that moment. So during this time together, you will cross that threshold from insight to integration as we prepare for what I'm calling 2026, the great remembering, a global awakening of the feminine principles into humanity. This is not about women rising. It's about restoring balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. So the mirror is where we're going to begin in this journey. And this is the moment that we decide we've had enough and there's not going to be any more performance. Now, when I got laid off, I'll tell you back in 2024, I was really hopeful, even excited about what might come next. I had a high paying client and I thought, wow, just two more of these and I will be off the ground. But those new clients never came. And I watched as the job market grew unstable and got really tight. Layoffs increased and the economy just turned chaotic. So I had no choice but to face the moment that I was in. And I started facing myself. I held a mirror up to my own reflection. And I realized that I had been building from a place of fear and fracture, broken parts of myself, fear of not being enough. This was my survival story that I was holding on to since I was 12 years old. I can't slow down. Rest was not an option. So, in this over efforting to prove myself, to prove to others, fear that time was running out, this sense of urgency that this needed to work. I'm 55. What else am I going to do? I had to bet on myself. Fear that if I didn't build something and build it fast, I would disappear. And then I started to notice that it was all falling apart. I was falling apart as the world was falling apart around me. And the more I tried to hold it together, the faster it crumbled. I became confused and frustrated because I knew I couldn't go back to the way things were. I was never going back to a dead end job that would never see my value, especially at the level that I contribute to anything. I wanted to take my energy and bet on myself and trust in this moment. So, with all the degrees, with all the experience, with all the work that I had done, and all the accolades behind my name, none of it mattered because the real work hadn't been done yet. I was standing at my threshold moment, this undoing that was trying to show me something, life rearranging itself that I just couldn't see yet. And that's when things started to become clear. What I was building wasn't meant for me. It wasn't meant for this time. It was the scaffolding of an old version of me, the one who believed that safety could only come through achievement. This is what the mirror revealed to me. I'm a 55-year-old woman, Black woman, highly educated, published author, award-winning speaker, a woman who had spent years empowering and healing the lives of other women. And here I was suddenly standing at this threshold, scared of the future and unsure about myself. I saw clearly in that moment everything that I thought I knew, everything that I believed about who I was and what my life should be, it couldn't hold anymore. This was part of the awakening. I had to be willing to stay with what I had just discovered and what was just revealed to me and be present to what's real. It was time for me to drop that story, drop the roles that I've been playing, the professionalism, the practice composure, and simply witness what's here now. So when I finally stopped trying to rebuild what was collapsing and just stood still, the mirror reflected back the truth that I had been avoiding for so long. So much of what I've called strength, so much of what that image that people saw me as a strong woman and this resiliency that I had was really just survival, trust, and productivity. And that's what the mirror revealed to me. And that's what the mirror will reveal to you. So this is the moment we let the surface fall away. Because beneath the roles that we play and all of the responsibilities and everything is a woman who has always been there, waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard and remembered. So as we step into this next moment together, I just want us to stop and reflect. And I have a prompt for you to start to open things up. And this moment is called Let the Surface Fall Away. I don't want you to rush for an answer. Just let your body respond before your mind does. I hope you have a journal nearby or somewhere, a pencil, pen, a paper. And I want you to make a note of what comes up for you and where in your body you feel it arising. This is that first reconnection to embodiment, okay? It helps you to locate where that hidden self lives in the physical form. So here's the question. What part of you have you hidden to stay safe, loved, or accepted? And what has it cost you to keep her quiet? You can pause the video here and come back after you've answered that question. From here, we begin to listen. That is where the map guides us. So the mirror shows us what's real, the reflection. So for me, I realize I'm making decisions based on fear and the belief that I'm not good enough. And believe me, just with that thought, not being good enough, that meant I never had enough. That meant sometimes I just just had enough, right? I never had more than enough. I was never more than enough. And so that started to manifest in ways in our lives. So coming to that understanding, I now know that there's something deeper here, right? It has to do with worthiness as well. So the map teaches us to move with what we've seen. What are you going to do with that now? Now it's time to ask some deeper questions and to listen for those answers. Questions like, what lesson is life trying to teach me right here in this moment? Where in my life am I being invited to slow down? What deep truth is my fear pointing at? You cannot solve any of these issues. You cannot really open up yourself to be guided forward if you don't go deep within and listen. So when you start listening, what we're doing is we surrender to this quiet voice underneath it all. So the map is that guidance system, that part of you that knows what feels right, even when you can't explain why. But in order to hear it, you have to do two things. You have to slow down and you have to be still. You have to make that a priority in your life. Stop overthinking. Stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to force it. And that's where I failed. That's why everything kept collapsing, because I was like putting these building blocks, and as soon as I thought I was getting to the top, it would all fall apart. The map shows us in small ways. It's not going to give you this big, grand vision at first. It will show you little openings and cracks. You'll begin to even feel it within your gut, or tugging at your heart, or just this wave of energy that might tell you, yes, that's it. Or a weight that might say, no, 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 not yet, not yet. That's not it. That's your internal GPS, your intuition. And it's going to move slowly because your nervous system is learning now to regulate again, right? It's learning that it's safe to trust yourself and to trust the process. So we have to be patient with ourselves during this process. You know, we hear a lot of talk about the value of rest and our nervous system and that connection. And I realized how true that is. I began working with the lunar cycles and planetary transits, and it's become a part of my day-to-day ritual, because I realized we've all been feeling pretty much the same thing, right? We can feel this shift in energy that started since last year. And a lot of us are saying we're feeling like time is quickening, right? But we also feel the slowing down as well, right? So it's a fast and a slow. And that is when I realized that that is that liminal space, that in between space, a time of us shifting identities because of all of the cosmic movements that are moving into place and will define the next 7+ years ahead. That's why so many of us are standing at our threshold moments. We are moving into a future that we can sense, even if we can't yet name it. So when I finally started listening, I realized that my body had all the wisdom and the knowledge and the truth all along, right? I could feel it. Now, I follow human design. And so I also learned as being a 3-5 generator that that is the thing that moves me. But yet, that was my biggest challenge for years. I never trusted myself. I never trusted my intuition, or I had felt like I followed my intuition and it failed me. But the reason why is because I didn't have any clearing done. I was carrying around stories and false beliefs about myself and the world that was really clouding that. And energetically, there were some things that just needed to be recalibrated. But once you start listening, right? Once you get in touch and tap into your map, you'll begin to notice how life then starts rearranging itself around your truth. That's the moment to pause, not to get panicky, okay, not to get anxiety, but to let the knowing settle in your body before making any quick decisions or acting on it. So I'm going to take you through a short body scan that will help you anchor that awareness into sensation. I think that this is one of the most important exercises that you can do for yourself to help get you in touch and tuned into your internal map, right? It helps you to step out of your mind and into your presence, that bridge between listening and embodiment. So this is a tool that you can return to at any time, just to find yourself and not get caught up in thinking. Let's take the next few moments to get comfortable here and allow your body to arrive where you are. Gently close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Begin by noticing your breath. Don't try to change it. Just listen to it. Feel the air moving in through your nose and gently, softly out through your mouth. Now bring awareness to your feet. Feel the ground beneath them, the weight, the steadiness, the contact with earth. This is where you begin to trust your next step. Know that one foot in front of the other, you will land steady. Slowly move your attention up your legs. Notice the strength that holds you, the stability that carries you. Now bring your focus to your hips, the center of movement and creation. Breathe into this space and feel it soften. Allow yourself to just rest here, safe in your own rhythm. Now move your awareness to your belly. This is your gut, the seat of instinct. Ask quietly, what are you trying to tell me? Now shift your focus to your chest. Feel your heartbeat, the rise and fall of your breath. This is your truth center, the compass that moves you through love, through trust, through courage. Bring your attention to your throat. Feel if there's any tightness or ease. This is where your voice lives, the voice of the woman who remembers. Now lift your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, that place of inner vision, the part of you that sees beyond the obvious. Finally, bring your attention to the crown of your head. Imagine a soft light there, the awareness that connects you to something larger than yourself. Breathe into your whole body now, from crown to feet. Feel the current of life moving through you. This is your map, the living, breathing intelligence within you. It has been here all along, waiting for you to listen. Now take one more deep breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Here's a prompt for this exercise. You can pause the video and journal your response. Where in my body have I been holding the weight of what I've forgotten? And what does that place want to release right now? I'll be here when you're done. This is the moment of integration, the place where everything you've uncovered in the mirror and everything you've learned to trust through the map, it begins to live inside of you. This is the great remembering. It signals something profound, this reunion of all the parts that you've reclaimed, the return of your inner wisdom, the remembrance of the woman that you've been before the world told you who to be. 2026 is going to be the year of the great remembering. And know this, that it's not a single event. It is an awakening that happens in waves. It happens every time you go through this, through your body. It happens through the choices that you make. It happens through leadership. And it happens when the mind's story quiets and the soul finally takes the lead. It's like a soul's return. Listening brings us here because listening is how we discover the truth beneath the noise. This initiates the remembering. And the truth is that we're all here to lead. We all have within us what we need to lead us into this new era. We all have a role to play. So this is a rewrite. We get to rewrite this story. We get to redefine and reimagine and rethink what leadership and life looks like moving forward. And this threshold moment is an initiation that's preparing us for that. So you showing up here and going through this process with me, you're walking through a portal now. And when we as women return to that kind of wholeness, the world shifts. Systems change. Communities heal. Because when one woman remembers who she is, she becomes a mirror for every other woman still trying to find her way back home. That's what this activation is about. Awakening not just the individual, but the collective. We are remembering together. And that's something that we'll actually be doing on the longest night of the year, December 21st, for the Winter Solstice Remembering Circle, collective remembrance. We will release any of the residue from 2025, honor what has been, all that we have gone through, and we will open the gates to receiving for 2026, which has so much in store for us. This circle activates collaborative leadership and community coherence. So we will share declarations, we will have group reflections, and we will do a collective intention setting. So if you'd like to join us for that, you can join my Emergent Women Collective school community. And I will make sure to add that link below in the description so you can be a part of that. But we're now leaving this water, earth era, and we're stepping into this fire and air era. All right? And so to get us ready for that, I want to walk us through this threshold with a guided embodiment and reflection. This will help us to close this circle and help to complete what we've just started here together. All right, so this will take just a few minutes, but I want you to just take a deep breath. Behind you, the woman who once doubted, the woman who has forgotten, the woman who was being led by fear, the woman who felt that she was not enough and didn't know enough. Before you, the woman who knows, the woman who has remembered, the woman who is ready to show up courageously, the woman who will take her next step boldly. Feel her energy in your body. Lean into that, how your posture shifts when you allow this remembered self to take the lead. Your next prompt is, if the part of you just remembered could speak, what would she ask you to do differently from this moment forward? This is where you can pause the video to reflect and journal on this and come back. Now place your hand on your heart and say, I know who I am. I'm ready to leave from wholeness. I'm ready to lead from a remembered space. Feel that truth vibrate through your body. You are the woman who remembers, the one who leads from presence. No more performance. I take one deep breath. What you've just experienced is only the beginning. This practice is for you to walk through on a daily basis. The real integration happens in the days and the weeks that follow as you live what you've remembered. If something was stirring in you through this process, know that you don't have to move through this alone. Inside the Emergent Women Collective, you'll find a community of women walking through the same season of becoming, women who are remembering and leading and evolving together. So you're invited to come into the community and connect through our monthly remembering circles, where we gather to reflect and release month by month, layer by layer. These circles operate like a 7-gate spiral of feminine remembrance. Each month we focus on a different area, from remembering our voice, our body, our identities, to remembering our ancestors, honoring our stories, remembering our cosmic selves, and then of course the collective, which will be our next circle for the winter solstice in December. So in this free community, you will also find free resources and courses to support you in your evolution and help you stay rooted in your journey. And then for those of you who want to go deeper in this work, we offer the Emergent Women's Saloon. It's a space for more intimate support through our leadership lab and group coaching, and all of that is for only $19 a month. So however you choose to continue, this is your invitation to stay in the work, to keep remembering and keep listening. I'm so honored that you chose to cross this threshold with me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I am Marjorie Bostwick Phoenix, and this is the work of the Great Remembering.